the hardest working podcast in Portland, Oregon, man.
Play
No.
game.
Welcome, you guys. It's Cartier Bob here for another installment. Don't do that lip cringe, you fucking hater. It's CP Cartier Bob on the motherfucking mic.
Cartier Bob out here.
Stop saying that.
With the red shirt on. With the red Cartier Bob.
Welcome to the Play-Doh Games podcast / show. I'm Cartier Bob.
Cartier Bob. Arthur Dixon.
I'm Koss.
I'm Raz.
And we have an emergency podcast / show to do, but we're going to go to our...
good in the studio, bro.
We're going to go to... that's the cut. That's where I'm cutting that part. And we're going to go to our very first segment. And our very first segment, before we get into the emergency fucking podcast, I'm going to kick it to...
Oh, yeah, we back on track. You know what it is. Our first segment of the day is called Play No Games. So if you feeling good, bad, negative, whatever your day may have been, you just talk about it and say, I'm ready to play no games about this. We gonna go with Koss first. Let's see. What you playing no games with?
Play no games about capitalism.
Okay.
Everyone's favorite topic. I found this interesting fact this week. Fun fact. There are just over 5,000 universities in America. There's just over 2,500 Chick-fil-A's in America. Is that not... I don't know. Something about that stat is interesting to me. That,
Wait.
it is easier to open a university than it is a Chick-fil-A.
Wait, I thought there was more Chick-fil-A.
No. There's 5,000 Chick-fil-A's. There's 2,500 Chick-fil-A's. Dude, did I? Oh, well, that completely ruins it.
Thank you. I was like, I'm not dumb.
5,000 universities.
Okay.
2,000. Half of that in Chick-fil-A's.
There we go. Yeah. That's.
I know you guys talked about schools being a scam a couple episodes back ago. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that attention. I thought that was really interesting, especially because you'll talk to someone and they'll mention going to some school that you've never heard about in your life.
I want to shoot a fact check to our fact check person. When was Chick-fil-A established? Because I think that plays a huge role in the numbers.
Possibly.
Because most universities were established in the 1800s. A lot of the old school major universities, 1946. So they've been around for what? 70 years? 84 years?
80, yeah.
I mean, which is a long time when you put it together, but it's interesting to see that number, because I feel like it'd be higher than that, truthfully.
Higher what? More universities?
More Chick-fil-A's.
More Chick-fil-A's, right?
I see what you're trying to do with that. It's just, for me, just Chick-fil-A's, right? There's just like this level of service. So like, I would want there to be that many Chick-fil-A, because currently in this time, like, you go on Popeyes, you just getting horrible. You get disgruntled workers.
You're getting the rough.
You're getting rough. You go into Burger King, you're getting people who are like, why am I here? You go to Wendy's. So, like, but once again, I don't want to take away from that, because that, I get what you're saying. It's just like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot to be successful, or just, or to just be middle class. Like,
yeah,
it's so hard for people to just survive in like capitalism. I can't hate on it. I've definitely benefited from it, but it's like, it's like there's got to be some like limiter we got to set in where I'm like, all right, Elon, or Big Crit Elon, you running Twitter, like, look here, man, like we got to cut this out. So I get what you're going at.
I think it's bigger than that, where it's like you have 6 major companies that run most goods in the U.S. I think
Yeah.
that is where we begin to have like that problem, right? Like, and they not only own the goods, but then they also own this and own that and own the fields that get the goods from and own that. So it's like, I think the whole idea of capitalism as a whole is so like devastating because it kills our people. And we work to, for example, you work to build a brand and Amazon's like, I'll buy that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy your brand and I'll sell your stuff now for cheaper on Amazon. And it's like, now this person's revenue stream is now substantially cut because big companies decide to take over. And it reminds me of the show Shark. If you ever seen that show Shark, where it's like you come in as a company and you sit in front of all these billionaires. It's
the
like
Shark
Mark
Tank.
Oh
yeah.
Mark Cuban, Kevin Hart's on it now. Some lady, I can't remember her name.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary's on it.
Mr. Wonderful.
So like you have all these billionaires basically buying these companies.
Oh yeah.
Keeping their wealth and helping you get wealthier. While they take 45% or 52% or 75%. I'll give you your $6 million for 72% of your company.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
hey, but some people want to be bought out.
so I think it's a big thing when it comes to capitalism. So I respect that.
I think we gotta get him like next year. Like, I gotta get you a mic. You're funny because like if you like in the detailed reports that I individually have stuff for you, I gotta find a way to get you a mic if you're gonna be the fact checker, because that's definitely in the next year. We're all out.
Okay.
He had a comment, and I haven't opened it up, and I'm paraphrasing, so I'm gonna be a ventriloquist for a second. So when you made the comment about copying, like with Amazon, right?
He was talking about Amazon buying out smaller businesses, and so the businesses get like a more steady income stream. So I sent you that article.
And what is that? What is this article supposed to be telling me?
Amazon actually copies small businesses that can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
And they rig the search results to favor their own products. There was a famous-ish litigation between them and I think Peak was the company. They made
Outdoor sporting stuff.
And Amazon like copied their item like right off and just like by just like a couple things and
Drop the price.
Rig again the search results so their stuff comes up top.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Yeah, they rig those search results, so their stuff always comes up first. So they don't even buy you out.
Choice. The Amazon choice.
Yeah.
And this is Grand Wizard Andrew over there doing his thing.
There you go.
No. But next person who should be playing the games?
Ross, what's up? What's up with you playing no games?
Oh, yeah. This came to my head on the drive down here. I think people need to maybe reread the driver's manual. There's so much fog, and there's just too many cars I see without any headlights. And then you throw on people not using their turn signals, and then you throw on pedestrians just not using crosswalks, and it's just not a safe place out on the roads right now.
Dude, yeah. You have people that turn their high beams on in the fog. Oh man, that's a good idea.
There's something in the mist.
And then yesterday when I was driving home, late at night, dude, this guy was jaywalking. But he was jaywalking on a super busy street. He's running. He's not walking. He's running. Pulls his hamstring midway through the run. and I see him just like hobble on the side, like to the sidewalk, and just like have to like sit down and stretch for a second. I'm like, dude, what is going? Like, you couldn't wait 30 seconds for the crosswalk to go. Like,
oh my god, the best story. The best story. Oh my god.
I'm just watching this, being like,
I fucks with. I should know. Like, my mom grew up in California. I'm not gonna say exactly where, but like, I learned how to drive from that area of California where you gotta have your head on a swivel. And like Portland drivers, bro, it's like
Caca.
It baffles my mind. Like, it's defensive, like not the good defensive driving. It's just like, and then when it gets fucking wet here, people don't know how to act when it fucking rains. Like, you just can't go 80 miles per hour on slick roads. Like, after the fresh coat of rain, you can't do that.
Mm. Yeah, with all that oil mixed into it.
It is ridiculous. So
Caught in the famous Sunday drivers who drive in the fast lane going 20 on a 45. Yeah, you know, they just driving to be driving. They just out on the road just to be out on the road.
You put those people up on the mountain when it snows.
Act like they ain't never seen nothing before.
yeah, I'm fresh out of that.
So, Robert, what you playing no games about?
You know what? I'm playing no games about a future segment that we're going to be having. And that future segment is we're going to be doing, I'm forgetting the name. Oh, relational dynamics. Because, you know, I'm tired of hearing, why did y'all have no women on? Why do we have no women on? And very, very soon, we're going to have a woman on. It's not, I got some other things to say, but, you know, I'm playing no games about just having guests on. Like, please come on. Like, we do a really good job, all of us here, trying to find interesting people, whether you are man, woman, non-binary. We're just trying to have dope conversations. So if you are closed-minded in any way, don't come on this show. You know why?
No, what? Have them come on. We'll change their mind.
No, because you're not going to change their mind. I literally, which will be something we talk about, I think it bugs me when I'm not trying to change someone's mind, but trying to introduce a perspective. And it's not to change their mind, but to have a conversation.
Okay.
And people lead with their emotions. Not to say I want to discount how someone feels, but when your leading argument is your feelings, or I feel, I'm going to be like, I see where this is going. Not going far.
Yeah.
Because, not yet, Robert. But yes, I'm playing no games about having all types of guests on the show. And women, if you're out there, we want to talk. And we want to hear.
All right, AJ, what are you playing no games about?
Playing no games about I don't know. That's a good one. It's been a cool little. Actually, I did a diversity training on Monday, Tuesday, and so I'm playing no games about cultural competency and conversation. I think it's something that a lot of people get fear from, especially in a time like we have now, where those conversations become real tough. I think it's just an opportunity for everybody to learn something new, and be able to sit down with their own selves and with other cultures and customs, and help erase some of those biases that you have in the back of your mind. Help bring some of those feelings out and talk about it. So, you know, cultural competency, man, is very important, I think, for everybody. So,
Except for the blacks.
For everybody.
I don't think I should attend some of that cultural competency.
For everybody.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I'm gonna keep it a band. I'm gonna keep it a band though.
Here.
What stereotypes do you want to keep?
Hey, with basketball, that's how hard. All right. Yes.
Until Luca shows up.
All right. I have to make sure before the stuff gets clipped. Yes, we should have cultural competency. But I am just saying, I don't think I should attend all the cultural competency classes. I'm not the problem.
I think,
Wait.
but I don't think you're the problem either. Or I don't think black folks is the problem either. But I think we have to be in the room so we can explain what we see is the problem and how we feel.
But I'm tired, boss.
Everybody tired.
I'm tired,
I
boss.
know we all tired. I know.
I think for me, I think there should be like levels to it. Like, yes, we all need to be a part of the conversation. But I feel like there's certain pieces where it's kind of like, there's this one thing in SW social work. They talk about, for you to connect with your clients, you got to have your own self-identity when it comes to your own identity. So like,
Absolutely.
let's just say if you are, a white therapist and you have a black client, that doesn't mean you have to be the same race to be that person's therapist. You just have to have an open mind, and then also with having an open mind, just understanding your own background. Not saying, well, if I'm working with a black person, I gotta be like, hey, did you shoot some hoops today, Jim? No. But it's almost kind of like just knowing yourself. And I feel like what is out of the cultural competency part of it is like, yeah, we're supposed to have everyone, but I feel like everyone doesn't know who they are or what they truly identify with. Because if you truly identify with something, it's easier to understand where other people are coming from. Because I've had a multitude of conversations where people are like, I do not understand like why or like microaggressions, where I'm like, this meant no harm or intent. But like, if you truly know yourself or know where you're coming from, like I just recently learned with the World Cup about the racism that happens internationally, or what happens to immigrants when they migrate. Like, I have a better understanding of that.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that I feel like there's a self element that is missing from that. Like, everyone needs to be in the room, but you need to truly know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, don't go.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Fair point.
So yeah.
That's what we play no games with. That's what we play no games about. So what's the first topic, Robert?
No. We got a topic today.
Oh,
Okay.
We're about to get into it.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Emergency podcast alert.
What is that?
Had to give him the hand claps. No Hurricane Chris.
Oh, I thought that was no cap.
No cap. We're gonna start with a story today, but before we get to the story, I need a motherfucking close up.
Somebody need to drink some water.
We good? What does that mean? Okay, so my friend AJ set me up, and
Nope.
he definitely set me up.
The setup.
So I just want to make this very, very, very clear. Cartier Bob.
Got the what?
Cartier
Oh.
Bob.
I thought you said cost something too.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what'd you catch, Robert?
No. Yeah. I was trying to say how Cost says it, but I gotta work on it.
That's okay.
Cartier Bob has something to say, and this is what he said.
You're getting better.
Okay, I'm trying to do it.
Just say Bartier Bob, bro.
I'm not saying that because with the current amount of shootings today, I want no one to get any confusions what's going on. Oh yeah, we're through. Yeah. Okay, it's closed up. Okay, so I want to let people know this from the bottom of my heart. When it comes to what I am and what I'm about, CB is when it comes to me. I'm here on this planet to help all people understand the true importance of relationships. I've gone through a lot of pain in my life, and that pain has allowed me to have an understanding of, if someone's experiencing that pain, why would I want to contribute and let's just say this, purpose that pain and continue that cycle. So I want to make it very evidently clear for people who don't know, my purpose is to understand and have people know the importance of relationships through all facets of their life, from being single all the way to being married. Now, the reason why I wanted to say that is we live currently in a culture where facts and research, a lot of people are allergic to. And as a researcher, as something I also acclaim myself as, I feel like it's very important for us to understand other people and other perspectives. So I want to say this today, so it's on tape. I don't agree with Andrew Tate. I don't agree with, like I said, the H word. I ain't gonna say that.
What H word?
Never mind. I ain't gonna say it.
Say it.
Nah.
Why not? What you scared of, Robert?
I'm not about to say that nigga's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I want all people, not men, not women. I want all people to find, or non-binary too as well. I want all people to find relationships. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, and you can zoom out now. Recently, this weekend, I was fucking challenged by a person who called me. They said I was the reason why. Or I'm paraphrasing. I want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. I was Andrew Tate and the Andrew Tate apologist. They said I was the problem.
Damn.
I said, if you think I hate on women, well, I have another thing to tell you. And the reason why I kind of want to start the segment off of that is because we are getting bigger. And there are going to be a lot of stuff where people clip up. And at the end of the day, we got to be able to advocate for ourselves. And what I mean advocate for ourselves is talking about men's mental health triggers people. And the reason why I'm a very staunch supporter of men's mental health is because, and I actually want to rope this in here too as well, breaks my fucking heart. Fucking Tommy, which is not his name, but the fucking Green Ranger, fucking offed himself. Don't say the other word. And he was doing quote unquote well, but he got a divorce, and he just recently, self-deleted himself. And it was because of I'm trying to think of another word. But yeah, he self-deleted himself. And I think it's very damaging that not men can't talk about that. So I'll just say this, and I'll end it, and I'll pass to AJ for the story. I am an advocate for all people talking about relationship pain and trauma. And just like MLK said, if there's an injustice somewhere, there's an injustice everywhere. When there's an injustice on anyone, in any type of relationship, single, married, things like that, asexual, fucking, I don't know, there's a bunch of genders now. I'm going to stand up for you because I know what that pain feels like. Without further ado, I'm going to send you guys to the person with the story of why I have to fucking say this on tape, because we about to get ratchet.
Okay.
So, got invited to hang out with a few people. And I personally went and picked them up. But they asked me to bring a friend. So, call Robert.
Nice.
It's like, hey, bruh, need you to come with me. It should be a good time. Blase. And I get jumped in the car with questions about podcasts, about our thoughts on our segment, one of our segments, and I didn't understand where it came from, but I understood the conversation. So Robert gets there a little later, and they proceed to jump him.
Just roast him.
I didn't get jumped. I didn't get jumped at all.
Okay.
I mean, to the extent of not. It was more of a whole bunch of questions asked, with a whole lot of answers I felt like they didn't want to hear, and a lot of things that they didn't want to see. And I think for me, this is where I begin to talk and say sometimes, like, people aren't going to always get what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think what we have to do is learn to be able to have tough conversations, especially when it comes to relationships, because relationships are tough. Relationships are one of the hardest things you can ever do. It's two complete strangers coming to a compromise, which in any situation, compromising is hard. And I think when men and women don't agree and they don't see eye to eye, and there's still no compromise, and one wants to push more than the other, that's where relationships fall short. And I felt like this weekend was a representation of why I think a lot of relationships fall short, because people of
Oh, I have zero problem airing people out. this is your
I just
lifestyle.
like people of the opposite sex. I feel a lot of times push an agenda to where men should be and how men should act and how they should care and not understanding where the man comes from and their perspective and what they've been through. And I feel like this is where a lot of the disconnect comes from. So my question to y'all is, how do we have tough conversations where men and women don't agree and allowed to still be able to move forward?
I think conversations are fine, and I don't think like a certain environment is what's gonna maybe be what ultimately solves it. But I think the type of people, I think it's either like Cartier Bob, Rob.
Hey, these people get it.
Mentioned earlier, it's either you're gonna want to have that conversation and learn from it, or you're gonna want to just maybe ask questions that you're gonna judge, or not ask questions and instead of want to learn from them, judge from them.
Yeah, kind of building off what Roz is saying here. I think if people are gonna want to shit on us or something, they're gonna shit on it, no matter what. People are either open-minded or they're not. And I'm sure they kind of they went in on you. I mean, I need more details here. What did they say? What did they ask?
I'll do it. So I was being wait for it. Wait. I was being no. I was being a W wingman. Yeah, W wingman.
Absolutely. I'll be honest. He was being my wingman.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
do I break down the whole situation? I didn't really want to.
let's do it like Cliff. Let's do
you guys
like
talked about it, but brought no details.
Yeah,
to the
no, it's
table.
fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. That's how I wanted to go.
Okay.
I didn't know how AJ was gonna like break down more situation, but I got shit to say.
Hey man, when we're the #1 podcast in Portland's gonna become,
All right.
walking down the street, people are gonna know us.
All right, I guess we get into it.
So we won't get fully into it because we got other shit to do. But long story short, walked into it wasn't hostile, but this is what happened. So we have a mini viral clip that has like 20K views.
Oh yeah, that one.
Me and
On
AJ,
our Instagram page.
on our Instagram page. AJ and I were talking about if cheating was worse, cheating or leading someone on. And on that clip, I said leading someone on is worse. So the women in question, they were like, why'd you say that? Why'd you say that? I was like, well, I feel like if someone's strung along repeatedly, like that can hurt. And sometimes it can be greater than cheating. So that person, and there's a lot of small things within that I'm not going to pick out, that person didn't like my response. And they wanted me to just say that cheating was worse.
Yep.
And I told her that question was designed to not have you choose, but to have you think with your brain about that's the wrong word to use, to think about the dating market and dating culture of how mistrust and emotional abuse is a part of every stage and how icky it all is. So that was just to open you up to the limitless where nothing either is wrong. So we moved from that to I literally spent 45 minutes hearing men ain't shit, men are dogs, men are cheaters, all this other stuff.
Why do men cheat? Why do men treat women with disrespect? Why? And the questions go further into it, and I think a lot of it was meant to not only challenge us in our thoughts and our mentality, but also to like try to put a negative name to men. And it's just like, I don't speak for every man, first off. And I was like, and there's multiple reasons why men cheat. I was like, women cheat just as much as men do. And I was like, so it's like, but I think we live in a culture and society where it's not only races putting one another down, it's men and women putting each other down. And I feel like we, hurt people. And that's one thing that I've always said. And I felt like in those moments, those women were hurt. And they took it out on two people that had nothing to do with the trauma that they had been they had been dealing with.
Yeah.
And we
sense.
tried to actually support them through this process
They
and
didn't
have
wanna hear
a simple conversation, but it wasn't heard.
No.
It was
They-
more of,
they wanted you to be like, oh no, you're right. They want the power.
And this is where things get jiggy with it because this was the comment where I pointed out to this person, I was like, you spent the last 45 minutes not talking positively about men. And then some other like whatever comment was about like, it was something about like men and women where I'm like, the men and who cheats better, right? Where I'm like,
Yeah.
women, they do a really good job of hiding relationships and things like that. And then she was like, no, that doesn't happen like that. Women are cheated on more than men. Where I'm like, I know I can open up your DMs right now and I can pick some sad, unfortunate souls that you've got strung along. But she didn't want to talk about that.
Nope.
And then I talked about where there are some areas where women are more advanced than men, where emotionally you get it faster than women, historically mature earlier than men, and vice versa. So I tried to be balanced. So this is where things get wild, you guys. I was like, with your rhetoric, this is how Andrew Tate guys come out, right? And I was like, I understand his delivery. And then as soon as I said I understand
no,
his...
you said, I don't agree with his delivery.
Oh, there we go.
I don't agree with his delivery, but she's like, so you agree with the message that he's saying about women? And then the conversation
blew open.
erupted.
And then what happened? I feel unsafe. Right now that you're talking about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's what?
Yeah, but like you brought to attention, the reason he is a figure and so many people look up to him is because there's women like that exist. Every action has a reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh no, it gets worse. So once again, if you listen to the podcast, if you do, holla. I just want you to know she also brought up that she was PMSing, and I should look at her differently because she's going through an emotional response. And I was like, okay,
Gross.
and she's like. And she was like, I'm traumatized and I don't feel safe. And I was like, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this right now. So
It seems like she clearly wasn't ready to have this conversation.
So we can't have a conversation because I'm emotional. And I was like,
See, that's when she knew she was wrong, but she had to, she had to cover the tracks.
And this is when my big brain started to operate. I was like, no, it's not because you're emotional. 3 times in this conversation, you said you feel unsafe, and you have to walk around the streets of Portland with a taser, and you just feel unsafe all the time. And then she tried to clean it up by saying, I understand that you're a black man, and I can understand that you don't feel safe too. And I was like, And then let's make matters worse, you guys. She tried to tell me, don't tell people what my job is, but as a mental health professional that.
Yeah.
She tried to school me on what trauma was. She tried to tell a trauma-informed mental health professional what. Yeah. Let me tell y'all this. This is what she said. I told her this. She's like, I'm traumatized right now. And I was like, yeah, a lot of things can be traumatizing. I did not know by saying Andrew Tate that traumatized you. Now that I know that traumatized you, I'll be more careful. And I was like, almost anything can traumatize someone. And I was like, a door frame can traumatize someone. She's like, that's impossible. No one, that's just stupid. No one's going to be. So, guys, I want to ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Can a door frame be traumatizing?
100%. If your hand gets slammed in on one, that's pretty traumatizing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, you got to deal with the consequences. I don't. So.
I don't, but. I think the situation for me, because I sat back and let it happen.
Yeah.
And I had a separate conversation after with this person, and they got on me for not speaking up on their behalf in this process, because for someone who's supposed to care about women and someone who speaks
You're supposed to
highly
be the
of
knight,
women,
man. Come on.
I didn't speak up for this person. And, if you watch the show and you know who I am, and if you listen to the show and know who I am, I'm all about women. I speak for women. I don't speak for women. I speak on behalf of myself. In the thought of women, I put women first a lot of times in my own daily life. I have a mother and a niece and a sister. That is something that I do. So for me, it became a battle, and she was like, "You're gonna pick your friend over me," and I was like, "Well, I know my friend, and I don't know you, so I'm gonna not jump into the middle of a conversation because I want to hear it. I'm also a learner, so." But I think we have to have these conversations, these tough conversations between hard-headed men and hard-headed women. I'm not saying you're a hardhead, but what I'm saying is, like, I think a lot of times, perspectively, when women get caught up in a certain mindset, they don't want to hear, like Costa was saying earlier. Same thing with sometimes with men, and I'm not saying Robert didn't hear, but, like, I think that, again, is the turmoil between a lot of relationships. That's the turmoil between a lot of foundations. And we just have to find a way to compromise in these conversations.
Yep.
Accept to not agree. Like, sometimes you just have to accept to not agree. But I don't think anybody's intention out of this whole conversation was to hurt anyone else. And even from our end of the spectrum, I felt like it was originally started as to get to know you, and it escalated quickly. I called it a volcano. I said, "This is us." It's like a volcano that was gonna erupt, and it erupted. So I kind of
AJ saw a side of me that most people don't get to see, because I got that in me. Because go ahead. What you about to say?
Finish your thought. I have something to add on.
Because the thing was I wasn't going to give her what she was wanting, and she wanted me to just go out and just say, Andrew Tate is this horrible person. He's doing all these things, and he's a bad person. And I was telling her, the delivery of something is a catch-all for a lot of different things. The delivery of how the whoever president of the FIFA, that was wild.
Gianni Infantino.
Exactly. I didn't like the delivery. It was horrible. I disagree with it. And the fact that, and I'll say the H word, the fact that when I was trying to tell her that at my heart I'm a researcher, as a researcher you have to try to understand things you don't, because you can't cancel everything you don't like. And I was like, look here, I don't like this. I just can't, because my thing is you have to understand, because I'll say this, and I'm not going to give.
You gotta, she brought up the Hitler thing.
That's the H word.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was crazy. It got crazy. Yes, it got crazy.
Yeah.
She said this. She was like, so you mean to tell me you would understand Andrew Tate and Hitler? I said, what?
Damn.
I was like,
she pushed the red button, man. She sent all the bombs away.
Exactly. And I said, yes, I would want to understand him. You know why? Because clearly a portion of our not American history, world history, because it was a world war where he did some things for a little bit. I think we got to understand so this doesn't happen again. And I told her, as a researcher, whether you agree with Donald Trump or not, 49% of our country voted for him last year. So you mean to tell me, we just got to cancel him? It's not just the incels she called that live in their mother's basement that voted for him. It's people that you go to work with, and he's like, hey, Jim, did you vote for Joe? Of course I did. Because we have to understand why people are hurting people.
Yep.
And I was like, if you can't sit through and try to understand, where I'm like, I'll at least agree with this, what Donald Trump is doing, because he's not slick, for what he's saying on Twitter and citing the people that are not up here, yeah, get them up off. I get it. But we can't just totally, like, cancel this dude, because he's their hero in Black Panther and Black Panther 2, which I want to talk about.
Don't spoil.
I'm not gonna spoil. They said this one thing about Namor, and I think one of the Wakandans was saying this about Namor. Just killing Namor is not going to stop him. They don't even call him Namor. They call him Kukulkan, a god. So when you look at Donald Trump and Hitler as a god, if they're eliminated, another one's coming because the ideology is so strong. That's why I'm so passionate, because hopefully someone takes over my role. I want this to be, I don't want to be looked, well, I don't want to be a god, but I'm just saying, I want my ideology, and their ideology clearly hasn't died. There's a book about it, and you can buy the manifesto on Amazon. You can buy the Hitler's manifesto on
Mein
Amazon.
Kampf, yeah.
This is crazy, but that's what I was dealing with last Saturday, gentlemen.
Damn, dude.
It was a lot.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
That's a lot. What I was gonna add was the only time I've seen it, Robert this passionate talking about this stuff is when that woman asked you if you were in a relationship, and you said no, and she's like, "How can you give relationship advice then?" And I thought that was really fun.
I'll shout out to JM Josh. He peeped me on game. You don't need to. Let me say this: if you have a cavity, do you need your dentist to experience what it's like to have a cavity for him to work it in your mouth? No, you're gonna say, "Get to work." You got the degree. Get to work, bub. So I think that was a younger version of me where I'm like, oh, I need to have this clout. I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah.
I used to care about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I need to have this. No, real people know. I don't. Yeah, that's gonna come. Real people gonna know.
Yeah.
Real people listening. But Emergency podcast over.
Interesting story.
Had to
Thank you
get
for
that
bringing
off my
That
chest.
was a fun story.
I got called an Andrew Tate apologist,
Damn.
and
Did it feel a little good?
it just felt like if you think I'm a problem, if you think
If you think Robert's a problem, wait until you see like the real people,
Jesus Christ,
aka like our friends.
Damn.
shots fired.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Calling you out.
Damn.
Hey.
I love
But
it.
yeah, like we've seen the real Andrew Tate prayers. Trust me, you're not them.
Just praying upon young men who need guidance, and that guidance
Yeah.
is you can be emotionally strong and physically tough, and you
Mhm.
don't have to do that top G shit. Like, don't get me wrong. What I was trying to tell her is I can see what Andrew Tate is trying to do, because if you're a man in a relationship and it's unbalanced, you have to be able to advocate for yourself. That's what being a top G is. It's not saying all this other shit and Bugattis and all this other crazy shit. It's like, yo, if you're in an unsafe relationship as a man, can you stick up for yourself? Can you know the warning signs? Can you not just be like, you're not a man because you're not doing this? That's toxic.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do, but he's doing a very poor, evil job at it because he's preying upon people who need guidance. But
Because
that's not,
Hustle's University needs to sell. Come on.
Which I think is a lot of, like, when you talk about a lot of those high powered people that bring up these negative ideologies, that's who they prey on. Those people who need guidance, those people who need or are looking for something outside of themselves. And you know, you get those people like the Hitlers and the Trumps and the Tates and those people that just put evil perspective in people's minds. I mean, I'm not going to say evil, but I'm going to say evil. Because I think they play on the weak-minded who are confused and lost.
I just gotta say this. I'm gonna say the H. The H and Andrew Tate are on totally different spectrums. Let me just say that.
Absolutely.
It was fourth and 30. She's like, you know who's worse? You know who's on the same level? I was gonna be like, okay, Saddam bin Laden. Like I was about to say, you know, but she went straight for. I was like, good God. I was like, really him?
Damn.
Yeah. It was crazy.
But sorry, emergency podcast. Hey, I really want to make sure people don't experience the pain that I've experienced in my life. That's what I was born on this earth to do. So, with all that being
Beautiful.
said, I have one thing.
Yeah.
But we took up some time having a much needed
Yeah.
conversation. But
Yeah.
what do y'all have for us?
Yeah. Did you want to bring it up or should I?
You can bring it up. I
Okay.
forgot the topic.
I think you know what I'm bringing up here. So, you know, as we're coming here through our formation years here in our mid-20s, getting old, you know, waking up, having back pain, all this stuff, I would like to ask the elder statesman, some advice.
Damn.
As you've gotten older in your life, as career has changed, as your life has changed, do you ever feel like you may be outgrowing the friends you've had for a long
Absolutely.
period of time?
Absolutely.
And how do you go about those friendships?
Yeah.
So,
Do you keep them in contact, or do you create the distance?
So, they always say as you move up, your friend group goes smaller, right? And you just have to learn how to navigate that friend group to be able to naturally allow that friendship to subside. Because eventually those conversations become boring.
Yeah.
Eventually those conversations become real. Oh, back in high school, and it's like, man, you're 25 now. We shouldn't be talking about high school. But I think it's just learning how to put people in a place where you understand the relationship and recognize like you're not better than them, but understand who they are and what the conversation is going to be about when you get into that conversation. So it becomes very directive and very limited. And I'm not, and you'll recognize your friend group getting smaller, and you'll recognize the importance of the friend group that gets smaller, and you'll recognize the conversations that happen with that friend group, how motivated these people are, or whoever, and then you recognize who you keep around you. Who are those people helping me become a better person? Are they helping me better myself financially, physically, or whatever the case may be? And if they're not, then it should be something that you kind of just let subside. And you're always gonna have a few, like I have a childhood friend that I stay in close contact with, and we talk every once in a while. Then I have another one I've had since third grade who helps me out with a lot of things, and so you'll know, and as you get older, that you'll naturally get smaller, and you just can't. It just happens. Like it happens. I don't really know how the best way to describe that, but it just happens. What about you?
How do you feel when maybe one side of the friendship's trying more than the other?
Who? Be specific.
I don't know. Maybe it's both ways. Maybe is there a different answer for both ways?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're trying to make a friendship that is not working, and they're not putting no effort into the friendship, just like any relationship, right?
Yeah.
It becomes 100% me and 0% you, then that means that relationship doesn't last.
Yep.
Because you get tired, you get annoyed, or you realize this person only calls me when it's time to go out and get food, and I'm most likely paying for it, or whatever the case might be. Or, hey, bro, can you pick me up real quick? I just need a ride. So after a while, that gets old.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so learning how to navigate that conversation, be like, look, bro, I feel like you only hit me up when you want something. Or I feel like there's no reciprocation, or you just stop hitting them up and allow that friendship to die. And if they're reaching out to you and you feel like that conversation needs to be had of like, I just don't feel like we're on the same page ish anymore. Just understand and recognize when the time and place it is to have that friendship. Like, if there's consistency, like I'll put another reference out for me. I have a friend who always reaches out. Let's get together. Let's hang out. They live down the street from me. All right, bro. Are you available this day? Are you available this time? Yeah, great. Comes around. Don't hear from him. Hey, that's on you. That's not on me anymore. And I think it's as we become older and become adults and all that, it just got to be mutual.
Yeah. Wow. It's very tough. I feel like there's a lot of off podcast stuff, I would say. Because,
We play no games, right?
Hey, but man,
we're playing games, man.
That's why
I got ops everywhere. But it's
Can't be
true.
scared, man.
That's true. I gotta be diplomatic in some areas these days. I'll say this. I say you gotta check in with yourself first before you gotta make that big decision. And I would say that what you need to do to like fully understand that is like You get like an old school boombox. You slick your hair back. You look in the mirror. You drop in that Beyonce, and you look into it. You just don't know about me. You just don't know about me. I can have another you in a minute. And if you feel really good singing that song, yeah, you've outgrown the friendship. So I got to ask you, is it time to put things in the left? Everything they own?
Is this like a live question I'm answering right now?
Yes.
People.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Shout out to Beyonce. But I would say to answer your question, like, yeah, I definitely think you do grow out of some friendships. And to tie together a little bit of what we were kind of talking about before, you guys made mentions of some interesting friends you have. And
Interesting is a good word.
Yeah.
and I would say the more and the longer you keep those interesting friends around, that not to saying that family is a different thing, a different story. And some friends could be family. But if we're just speaking just friends, right? You have an option to keep them in your life, right? You have that option. Like, I'm sorry, people who have friends that are like family, you choose every day. You're making a choice. But family, you just can't. Oh, Uncle Ben, fuck Uncle Ben.
I got a new uncle.
Uncle Ben will be Uncle Ben. Like, when we're bones and dust, they will connect you to the family tree. You were related to Uncle Ben. But I say this to say to you, where it's kind of like the company you keep is actually a reflection of who you are, even if you ignore them as much as you think.
Or say, oh, that's so and so. That's how he acts.
Yeah, like only a few people. Like, you only get a few of those to be like, you know, I don't know what people say about me in the streets, but like, I just know, like, if they're like, oh, you kick it with Rob, the company I keep, this when it comes to like getting a job, when it comes to, you know, doing different things, it's the company you keep. And if you have someone who goes against your morals and values, and let's just say you entertain that, then that's saying a lot about you. Because what a lot of dudes don't understand, and this stuff that actually like bothers shit out of me, it's not to say that I'm a snitch, and I want to make sure to let people know I ain't no snitch. But if let's just say me and AJ, right? Blah, blah. Me and AJ, we're best friends. We're friends, and like AJ is in a relationship, right? And AJ, even though he's never been in this club, cheated, right? As his bro, as his true bro, right? And what's to say they're married? Not that I'm gonna press him, but I'm like, bro, that's kind of whack. That's like real whack. And my thing is, I have two options: help this man grow from where he made a mistake, or really cauterize a wound and make excuses for him. Because my thing is, what if I have a relationship with his wife? Now he's fucking it up for me, where I gotta corroborate his story. Where I'm kind of like, you don't know, your decision put me in a fucked up position. And let's just say, you know, once again, people, he hasn't done this. Let's say he keeps doing it, right? That should tell me that it don't matter how. That's his wife, and he's doing that to his wife. What do you think he'll do to me? Me. So I'm just saying, where it's kind of like, I think I'm gonna get off at the stop. Not saying that I hope that he like reconciles that, but it's kind of like the company you keep. Because if roles were reversed, I want my dogs to get on me, being like, Rob, that's not you. I
agree 100%. Yeah.
That's funny. You bring that up because we were having a very similar conversation today, and Roswan said the exact same thing about like, what do you think they're doing to us? If the person he goes to sleep with.
I've actually been in that experience where good friend cheats on his wife, and the wife no longer likes me because she doesn't feel that I spoke up to him about the situation, which I was the one who told him not to wholeheartedly. Took everything in my power to stop him, and eventually it's a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
Am I still friends with him? Yeah. Still a great friend of mine. But do I see him a lot different? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did it change the relationship between me and his wife? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think as friends, you have to speak on your friends. You have to tell your friends they wrong. Recognize they're wrong. Recognize where you can try and help, like Robert's saying, help them get better in their situation. And if they don't want to change, that's on them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And it comes back to you, because I'll use my mom says, all these four fingers always point out, but our thumb always points back to us, because we take responsibility for the relationships that we have. If I am robbing a bank and I know you're going to be robbing the bank, I'm not going to be sitting in the passenger of your car. I'll be like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Because you still have to take some responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, that's not how I want to live my life. Not to say, because I want to take this further, because I don't want people to think that, obviously you can't change or be reformed, where it's kind of like, I would more or less rock with someone who made a mistake and is actively trying to change from their mistake, rather than, yeah, man, I got a drinking problem, and then every night you're drinking, and I'll be like, I gotta put my Henny White away, like I gotta do all, like, you're killing yourself.
Yeah. Sorry, that was an inside joke. No, but
yeah.
I'd like to give a little more detail, even if you let me. So I'm not gonna drop names here, but I'm gonna give a little more detail.
Oh wow!
So let's say Roz and I are on this side of the spectrum, on the left side. I'd say we're a group of 6.
All right, Democrats.
Yeah. I'd say there's 2 on the right side that we're just
right-wing bastards.
Sure, if you want to say, you can swap them. But
No!
2 that we're kind of like, we're okay not communicating with anymore. But the 2 between us are the bridge between, which we have no problem with these people in the middle, but they're still good friends with people on the that we're okay not speaking to these people anymore. So that's the troublesome now for us, where it's like, it's almost like, do I have to cut everyone out?
It's not about cutting everyone out necessarily. I think it's just like we understand they have friendships with them that we don't have, and we don't want to we aren't really asking for like anything but to have like everyone to just be friends with each other. But sometimes I feel like recently it's like kind of a split team thing, where it's like
Team A, Team B.
Yeah, the way I find out stuff about the 2 guys over here is through the middle, and I'm assuming the same vice versa, because it's like and it's just kind of weird that that's kind of the stream of communication and that we have.
Yeah, and it feels like, okay, like if I'm telling you something and then you're telling him something, like maybe I don't want to tell you anything then, if you're just it's going to end up back at the one I don't want to communicate with.
And it's usually information we get sometimes from in the middle, from the 2 on the opposite side, or it's information that is not necessarily my business. It's not like positive reflection I want to have of these people. I don't want to like have these thoughts about them out of the blue, like, oh, this, guess what, blah, blah, blah.
He did this.
Yeah. And it's
Can
like,
you believe he said that to this girl at this place?
and it's awkward. And that's kind of why we're
like,
what to do.
And at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of associated with that person.
And this goes back to what we were originally talking about. And the reason what I was originally talking about is what I see what Andrew Tate is trying to do, but not doing a good job at it. And that is, you both as young men, your values and your legacy is stronger and will mean more than what's going on right now. And the longer you keep that, right? Because you're both at a fork in the road. Me and AJ been there. And you have to make a decision about what's good for you as a growing man, because not just these friends, you're going to have to know when to cut things off, because let's just say it sounds like the Federellis, or, I read Ops 101 because I got ops. They out there. And there's certain ops you got to keep politicking with. I see them at the UN like, hey, how you doing? yeah, yeah, you know I'm doing okay. But there's other ops. It's all fucking side. And my thing is, before you throw that Molotov on the bridge, you gotta figure out, because I think I forget who says this, where it's kind of like you can't keep always like waging wars, like, you know, that's like stupid and dumb, blah blah blah. But like, y'all gotta figure out, will these people be like the people that you just kiki and haha with, or like people that you're like, all right, we gotta fuck it up. We don't like, these are real ops. Like, we can't talk to them ever again. So I think that's what y'all have to do, because it's important as males, because you're not gonna be able to show up for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's being able to just balance those friends, right? Like the two that are in the middle, allow them to pick and choose what side they kind of belong to, which then is going to determine how you see them as friends.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're like, yeah, I can't really tell them everything, that is the beginning of taking that friendship away, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You can't tell everybody everything anyway. So, like, being able to understand that and recognize, like, if I'm going to tell them this, it might get to them on this. Understand what you're telling them.
Oh, you gotta tell them some fake stuff sometimes. I've done that before, but yeah. I broke my leg, and then they be like, "You broke your leg, man, crazy, wasn't it?" And that's how you figure out which one's the rat.
And that's why he's the real life Hitch.
No, I'm the real life Cartier Bob. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
But you just begin to kind of
Yeah.
waver that friendship, right? And
Yeah.
and as you slowly
Oh.
step away from some of these other friendships will build. And other
Yeah.
friendships will open up.
Yeah.
Other opportunities to meet different people will open up. As you move along the business ladder, right? You start meeting different types of people.
Yep.
You start seeing more money. You start, like, all these things are correlated. And I think you just have to recognize who you're approaching, recognize who you're talking to, and recognize, like, are they a benefit to me anymore? Like, everybody's not supposed to be in your life forever. And I think that's
True.
one thing that I've begun to really process and understand. Like, some people are just meant to be in your life short term. And in that short term, they can help you through a process that you're going through. They can help you finish out a situation you've been dealing with. I mean, sometimes they're just meant to make your life worse and allow you to grow in that process. So, like, that's the biggest thing I think you have to understand. You're not entitled to none of these people. You don't have to keep them around.
Yeah.
Like, so it's personal choice.
Thank you.
What do you think about this? Do we have to tell something to RJ? You sure? Wow, that was simple. I'm like, wow, RJ, he actually was pretty nice about that. I don't know if you can hear that, but
He said RJ's cool.
He said RJ's cool. With the last 5 minutes, don't shake your head in agreement. We're gonna stay here another hour.
I was just okay, fine.
What? I apologize. Andrew. I apologize to you, Cos.
Thank you.
I had low expectations for your responses.
What did Andrew do?
I was
He also
expecting
shook
him
his
to,
head?
that he actually did. He actually did that to me one time, one random time. I was like, "All right, fucking bastard." But no, I was expecting him to take a dig, and I was expecting you to complain like the time. But no, you were wow. I was the biggest fool of them all, folks.
Absolutely.
I apologize. I think a perfect place to end us out is a free for all. I think probably next week, if y'all haven't seen Black Panther, I'm definitely gonna bring up Black Panther. Great movie, great fucking movie.
I haven't seen the first one. Is that
Me
a
neither.
problem?
Yes.
I need to see the first one.
I need to see it too.
You saw the second one though?
No.
Do I need to see the first to watch
You're
the
just
second?
funny for just agreeing.
I
That's a
should.
great movie.
Okay.
No. I said I agreed with him. I also haven't seen the first one.
Oh, but you saw the second one.
No, I didn't see. Did you see the second one?
No.
No, I just didn't. I was just agreeing.
Yeah, see, I caught you just agreeing with me.
No, with his statement
Oh.
of not seeing the first one.
My bad. I recommend you both seeing.
Cartier Bob, wake up, blood.
Yeah, people, if you watch this, I say nothing about the set. It's clearly everyone else in this room. What do you call it? I'm gonna be talking about Black Panther because it's great. If y'all want to watch some snippets on YouTube so you can get caught up, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go watch the movie, bro.
Okay,
Don't spoil
great.
nothing.
Please, wait.
I've seen
very
the
soon?
Kamaru Usman scene.
Yeah. He's definitely in there. Wait a
He's
second.
in there
When
after
do
he
you-
lost his
when do you
belt.
see it?
You know,
I don't know. Soon.
All right, please go see it.
after he got knocked out, he was in the movie.
You recording? Never mind.
Please go see
Keep
it.
going. Keep going.
You
Please
know,
go see it.
Just keep going, please.
I
Jesus.
really want to talk about Black Panther. It was really good.
Right now,
Not right now. We don't have enough time. Because there's so many life lessons in it. But yes, I recommend.
so many life lessons in it.
thought you had one more thing.
He's about to say it.
I think we could definitely, with the last 4 to 5 minutes, we can kind of end with. I don't know, y'all.
Finish it.
Finish with what?
We can make it quick. The last thing.
I don't want to make it somber where like all the fucking shootings, like that shit's depressing. Like,
No,
Okay.
no, let's not talk about that.
okay, I will say that. I'm like, good God.
I got something. You guys watching the World Cup?
I've watched the game.
You watched
Two
that game?
games.
2
Two
games.
games.
You saw a hell of a game though today.
I did see a hell of a game, and I watched. Who did I watch yesterday? France dominate Australia.
The Socceroos. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That game. I got a new favorite soccer player.
Who, Mbappe?
Yeah.
You just learned about Mbappe.
Yes, I did just learn about it, but I don't watch soccer, bro.
Oh, fair enough. No, fair enough.
Yeah,
No,
you know,
he's a good guy to start following.
You know, it's
He-
Americans.
And he's really like young. He's like 22.
He's like my age. No. Wait, is he? I think he's 23, 24.
Won the World Cup at what age?
18.
He won the
18.
World Cup at
16.
19.
Super young.
So he's 23.
Like
Yes, he's very young.
super
Holland's
young.
better, but he's
and
young.
so like, but they're saying he's one of the best players since Pele, and I was like, holy shit.
Whoa,
like,
whoa. Who said that?
the
Because
announcer.
that is such like an American comment to make.
Mhm.
I'll tell you right now, Ronaldo, Messi are far superior than Pele and Maradona.
he knows this because he has soccer jerseys.
Like,
I don't know
accomplished.
nothing about soccer.
That's-
I just know who Pele is. So like,
yeah, of course, yeah. Every American knows Pele.
I
but
know that.
I just
I
think
mean,
that-
I know, like,
yeah.
I know those famous people, of course, but like,
It's like saying John Morant's more superior than Will Chamberlain.
damn.
I
didn't-
That's like the same level of saying like comparing Mbappe and Pele. It's like, but no. Yeah. I just wanted. I thought that was funny.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you're
I'm not
fine.
saying anything against you.
I only know when the U.S. Cup comes on when everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we support our country," and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that shit on
Yeah, actually.
USA soccer, and then they're
Mm.
like, "Finally!" I'm like, hypocrites.
If you watch soccer consistently and you watch the team and you shit on the team, that's totally fine. I shit on the team, but I watch them. I know every player on the team. I can shit on them. If you don't watch soccer except every 4 years and you're like, I'm not gonna cheer for America, we suck, we're gonna lose. I'm gonna cheer for Brazil because Brazil's always good. They always win. It's kind of like, oh, okay, man, you're gonna be that guy. Like, this is why we can't have good things in this country.
I
Like,
can't name 3 U.S. soccer players.
Can't either.
It's fine, and that's fine. But you're cheering for them, right?
Yes.
You're cheering for your country, right?
So
Yes.
like, I cheer for our country.
Yes.
Yes.
You can have other teams you cheer for. You don't have to.
But I
just
also
strictly cheer for.
I've always, which is weird, I've always cheered for France, which
That's
is
fair.
like,
Yeah, France is always
like,
a
it's
fun team to
always-
watch.
Fun.
I don't understand why. I
They,
don't know.
it's the style of play they have. They're
when I
always
used
very
to play
fancy.
FIFA, that was my team I
Yeah,
played
yeah.
with. Like,
Yeah.
I just that was just my thing. I always cheer for America, especially on the women's side.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Where we're good.
I mean, I don't really
Yes.
pay attention to men's
Yeah.
soccer, so like,
That's fair.
for me, like even like growing up, like I always watched women's soccer.
Yeah.
and that I feel like it's more
Interesting.
popular
Okay.
to me. Just like women's softball. Like I don't really watch baseball. Like I watch baseball every once in a while, but I'd rather watch baseball than or softball than baseball.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, so like it was always women's soccer for me. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe that's probably why I'm fascinated with soccer women.
You had to add that one in there.
What are your guys' predictions for the World Cup?
I don't know. I haven't watched enough soccer.
The
to tell you.
Netherlands.
Hey, that's a hipster choice right there, low key.
I heard they were talking about a team like a sleeper team that was supposed to be really good. They have a lot of players that are like really fast strikers, and
Netherlands is a sleeper team. Denmark is another sleeper team.
no, it was like a Spanish team,
Like a Portugal.
I think
or
it might
like
have been
an
Portugal.
Uruguay, Argentina.
No,
they're
it
not
wasn't
really good.
Argentina.
Might have been
Yeah,
like
I think it was
Portugal or Spain.
Portugal.
I think they could make a decent run. Everyone's hoping for an Argentina-Portugal final. That way we get Messi versus Ronaldo. The stars line up the way it should happen. Whoever loses gets killed. Perfect ending.
Never happens that way.
It never does. But that would be like Thanos.
Didn't Argentina just lose though?
They did, but that's
Oh, okay.
it's the group part of it.
Full play, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just to see where you'll place when it comes.
I hope you guys watch the World Cup. I hope everyone listening watches the World Cup. And if you're in America, watch soccer after the World Cup. You will not regret it.
If never mind, never not going there. Well, shout out to me for just being the GOAT. Netherlands, I hope you win. Not just at a random country. Of course they said. Yes, Rob. Yes.
I hate you so much.
Yes, I just said a random country. Yes, yeah.
Can you name one city in the Netherlands?
Finland. It's definitely another country, but it's something icy, right?
Isn't there one that starts with like an R?
There is a city that starts
Rapture.
No.
Rotterdam.
Rasputin.
Right. Huh?
Rotterdam.
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell it.
Rotterdam.
Look at me, I'm
Rotterdam,
Rotterdam.
Amsterdam.
Okay. Yeah.
You're funny, man. I'll get you a Cody Gakpo jersey.
Hey, you know,
You want a Virgil van Dijk jersey?
I want more like Charlie Chaplin. He sounds.
What?
Nah, I'm sorry. Super random.
What? That was a funny thing you said today. That was.
Put your CCs in the chat.
Wow.
Chaplin. He the real funniest person. I love RDC World. They're my crew. The only stream I sometimes occasionally log on to watch. They're hilarious. Anywho, we have no left on red, which you would usually do, so I want to make sure that's there. But I want to say, because you all will be getting this a little late after the holidays, but just know, hopefully you're having a happy holidays from Cartier Bob to yours. And if you like what we're doing, please donate. $Hero Bob. And AJ's going to say something false, but we've kept it in so long, I'm going to have him just say it. I forgot again, guys. Whoa.
I thought that was for guests.
But he always says at the end, too, as well.
Okay.
No, I don't.
I
But
swear you do.
no. If you like what you're doing, like Rob said, like, subscribe, hit the bell. It's on all of our platforms.
Bob.
Make sure you do this, so then you can ask us questions, so we can have some questions answered for you. I'm Arthur.
I'm Raz.
I'm Koss.
This is Cartier.
And this has been the Play No Games podcast.
Thank you for listening.
Peace.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.